Okay. Hello, good morning. Are we live? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to WISER edition, WISER special of February edition. Who is live with me? Who is live this morning with me? Let me know in the comment section who is live with me. Oh, Ogechi Ajuzie, thank you for joining live. Now we are here. How are we doing this Monday morning? So, welcome to WISER Special February edition 2025. Ooh, I can see our mama, Joy Daniels. Good morning, ma'am, and good to have you on the call. Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to WISER Special. How have we been? What is happening? I can see Super TV MC, sorry. So let me know who you are and where you are joining us from this morning. Where are you catching this live session from? My name is Micheal Okorie, and I'm a social media marketing professional. And I'm joining this live call from Oka, Anambra State, Nigeria. So let me know where you are joining us from this morning. So this is Wiser Special, the first edition for the year. Last year we began Wiser Special, and it was just a phenomenal moment. And this year we are coming back again with Wiser Special. Last year we did seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. We ran through that program from February up until October. And this year, we are reviewing Atomic Habits by James Clear. And it is going to be such an amazing and a phenomenal time. So if you are here this morning, it means that, okay, from Delta State, thank you so much for joining. If you are here this morning, it means that you are ready for a great ride. And thank you for joining and taking yourself seriously. Okay. Thank you so much. Love them. Well, good morning to you. Let me know where you're joining this live session from. Okay. Lagos, Abuja, USA. Let me know in the comment section where you are catching us live from. All right. So we are studying atomic habits. I need to let a bit of background while we are studying this atomic habit. So if you can agree with me, you know that who we become in life, who we are now currently, is a product of the habit we've built over time. All right. And who we are to become in the future, who we are becoming, is also the product of the habit we will either cultivate or the habit we will either drop, increase on doing and all of those. All right. So atomic habit, the essence of this study and book review is to help us, is to help Wiserians, build those tiny habits that can make a world of difference, right? Can make a world of difference so that at the end of the year, you would have won your year, just like we often say, winning your year. Okay, so this is about unraveling the wisdom you need to win your year. One more thing I have to say is that I tell people each time you are to join a live session, a conference, a webinar, whatever it is, one question you should always ask yourself is, how can I make the things I am learning practicable? All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. How can I make the things I am learning practicable? How can I apply? How can you take action? 1% action is what you really need to make, you know, changes over time. Okay. So as the things we are saying, maybe what we will say is what you've been hearing. Perhaps you've not applied. All right. So we are saying it again to reinforce, the need for you to apply, to reinforce the need for you to put into practice. So, having said that, this morning I'm not going to be the only one on this show this morning. I have a colleague whom we have studied together, we have shared our wisdom together, and she's somewhere on this call to, join me. So, if you can give me fire emoji in the comment section, I want to bring my colleague, but let me see your fire emoji. Are we ready to do this morning? Are we ready? If you're ready, I want to see your reactions. I want to see I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Let me see your reactions. Awesome. Love Diamond is ready. Who else is ready this morning? Who else is ready? Okay, so I want to bring Chinyere Obi-Obasi. So please let's have Chinyere Obi-Obasi on the screen. Chinyere is a phenomenal MC. Hi, ma'am. See, you are looking
Hello.
radiant this morning.
Thank you. Thank you. No, you don't have a second time opportunity of making the first impression. That we
Yes,
were taught by Joyce Daniels.
it's true. It's true. Welcome, ma. How are you doing this morning?
Well, it's fine. Just as Joyce Daniels also taught us, I have my water here, warm water.
Oh my!
So that's a
Cheers to
fantastic
life.
start
Cheers to
starting the
life.
day.
Cheers to life. Okay, ma. Good morning to you, and welcome once again. Right. So we are studying atomic habits, right? And we have shared over time, reviewed over time, and all of those. So just to lay a bit of background or more foundation on what what uh, what James Clear had in mind for writing this atomic habits. Okay, so can you give us a bit of background on what the book is about, just an overview?
Well, the book is by James Clear, who clearly said that to write a book, you have to live that book. So he started with his own experience of, when he was ill, hit in between his face, the changes, he was almost paralyzed and all of that, and how through tiny habits he was able to, tiny efforts, he was able to get well. And then he went on to the extent of telling us about this British cycling team that never won an award, and just through small habits, they won these awards. So the book actually is trying to encourage us to take those small habits,
Yeah.
make those little, sometimes, unnoticeable changes that will amount to a lot. And most importantly, what I did first, when, of course, this is not the first time I read the book, some years back, I tried to look up the word atomic. Because if you don't appreciate the word atomic, you probably will not really appreciate the whole book. And so the word atomic came from atom. An atom is said to be incredibly small. It's the smallest part of molecules. To get a molecule, you need a lot of atoms. It's like a building block. You need it to build up a molecule. And so automatically, atomic habits are the building blocks of remarkable changes that will take place in your life. So the book is all about those tiny changes, nothing too fanciful. When I was thinking about it, I thought about my kitchen. I mean, you spend a lot of time shouting, I love clean kitchen. So keep my kitchen clean. I don't want. And then you wake up and say, you know what? No dirty plates in the house. No dirty plates. No matter what happens, no matter how If you are not too tired to eat, then you cannot be too tired to wash your plate. I want to be sure that there's no single dirty plate in the sink, so long as the water is running. And so once that is just something small, just washing up, making sure that all the plates are, it just transformed the kitchen. It saved me, hours of shout. So he's saying, make those habits, no matter how insignificant they look, no matter how unnoticeable it is, just start. It can just start with, if imagine I just cut off Coke, like maybe drink a bottle of Coke 3 times in a day, and you just cut off to, okay, let me just drink one, let me choose time. And then in your mind is nothing. It's a lot. Is it the water? Is it one? Is it cocoa? Whatever it is, tiny but steady and consistent, habit will lead you to something glorious. So that's what he's urging us to do. Nothing fanciful, just make those small changes. That's it.
Yeah, awesome. Those small changes. In fact, one thing that really caught my attention about the book is that he said atomic habits, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. All right. Just easy. And if you've read the book, you will discover that the things he shared in the book, they are very practicable. He took his time to break those things down. And the essence is to help us apply. Because sometimes human beings have a recoil when things are hard, when things are big to apply. But then it's just so much that you can apply them if you are really deliberate about the things that you want to see happen in your life. Also, sometimes we often pay attention to big changes. You want to see something big, something magnificent happen. And I've come to discover that the big things we want to see happen are hinged on the small things we are neglecting. Did we get the wisdom? I want to see, did we get this wisdom? Let me see in the comment chat, in the comment section. The big things we want to see happen they are hinged on the small things, on the tiny things, on the things that looks insignificant, that oftentimes we neglect them. But I can tell you for free, they make the most effort. They make the most changes and all that. So at each point, we must always pay attention to the small things, the tiny things. Reading a page of a book in a day, you know, just doing that thing. By the time you've done it in the long run, over time, the result will begin to compound, right? And when they start compounding, everything changes. Everything literally changes. So as we move further, uh, James Clear shared so much wisdom in this book that we are going to be exploring today. So, Ma'am Chinyere, is she here with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Let me
I'm here.
Okay, let me see her on the camera. Great,
Yeah.
great. Yeah. So James Clear talked about why small habits make a big difference. All right. Of course, all of the book is about small habits, small changes, and so on and so forth. Okay. So can you throw a little light on what you talked about, the why small habits can make a world of difference?
Well, actually, nobody achieves overnight success. You understand? You see someone and you think that, nobody achieves overnight success. Are you not hearing me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So nobody achieves overnight success. It's always a gradual revolution. And so when you get that picture, you now find that that is where habits come in. Those habits that you meticulously nurture and you are consistent in doing will eventually lead you to where you really want to be. So if you look at it, all big things come from small beginnings. And so the seed of every habit is a single tiny decision. A simple tiny decision. But as that decision is repeated, a habit forms and grows. And then as that habit forms and grows, it entrenches itself in you. It becomes a part of your life that will lead you to something great, something glorious. And even in times, we'll get to see where some people just set goals. They set goals and then they don't get to the goals. They're so disappointed. They feel so bad. And they forget that as they're setting a goal, for example, that you want to be the Olympian, that is how many other people are also setting the goals. And so sometimes when you fail, there is that depression, there is that, maybe somebody can even kill themselves just because they failed to reach their goal. So, but what he's saying is just form small habits in your life. Those small habits will help you to even get that goal, without you consciously thinking about it. The changes will help you get to where you are. And now let's look at a practical example. Weight loss. I mean, that this is where people like us battle, are still battling. So weight loss, you just want to lose weight. You have your goal that by the first quarter, I would have lost like 20 kg. So what do? You start off, you don't eat breakfast, you don't eat lunch, you eat once a day, you now begin to make some very drastic, you're going to the gym and everything. And after like 3 months, you go to weigh yourself and you're just 5 kg down. My dear, what do? You just say, this thing is not working. I beg, let me go and eat that. At least let me be sure that there is food in my stomach. But imagine that I wake up and I say to myself, I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is to drink water, a liter of water. And then I'm doing that joyfully without even thinking about anything. And I say, okay, every food I have, I must have vegetables to go with it. So every time that anybody is going shop, mommy's vegetables. So I even grow to love the vegetables as side dish. And I said to myself, no need of eating after 7. It's bloating and all that. So I just have this cutoff point. Natural, 7, I don't eat again. I go for events. I say, can you pack it? Assuming that I have close friends, pack it up. I'll eat it. I can't eat now. And then you now find after 3 months, God, you have achieved a lot more than when you just put it out as a goal that you want to achieve. So now, habits is not just one habit, like one habit to achieve a success. It is small habits. Like I've used this weight now. I've talked about water. I've talked about maybe exercise. I mean, I remember when Joyce Daniel taught us that exercise of 5 minutes by the side of your bed and all those small changes. Those habits that will now add up something great. And now that is where there is another challenge. Just as you're doing those lovely small habits that get you to that place, that is the same way if you decide to cultivate the horrible habits, that is where it will land you in mass failure. So what do I mean by that? I was telling my daughter, I saw a cartoon somewhere where years later, a grandchild goes to the granddad and says, "Granddad, why are you poor? Like, your mates are all wealthy." And he said, I was busy browsing. I was browsing when other people were sorting themselves out. So you can imagine that the worst that we know is that small habits, because now habits, both for good and for bad. So now good habits, well nurtured, will make you 37 times better. Now, bad habits will get you to ground zero. So you see, when you will cultivate bad habits, It won't give you the mileage that good habits will give you. In fact, it will be worse for you 37 times, but this one, you are on ground zero. So habits really are a compound interest of self-improvement. So I'm urging everyone here, including myself, go out and think of the fantastic habits that you can form in all areas of your life. If it's in finance, look at your spending. I remember the time I said to myself, I won't spend anything. I come back at the end of the day, I write everything I spend. And then I can see granite. I ask myself, at the time you ate this granite, did you need it? And I will say to myself, no, I didn't need it. I was just carried away by the sight of granite. So you find that you make some changes in your finance, you get your money, you allocate some. For us who are Christians, you do your tithe, you remove your money for offering, and then if you have a charity that you're supporting, like in my church, we have a school for the poor, so you remove that money for the school, then you remove your child, and then the rest you save it. So after a while, when you're just saving maybe 10,000 naira, some you might even just say to yourself, 10,000 naira, how will it amount? One day you walk into the place and ask them for your balance, and they're telling you 1 million. Say, from this ordinary 10,000 I was spending. That is how it compounds. So in every area you take your finance, you create habits there. You create habits with your family life. You create all of these small habits in all these major areas of your life will now aggregate to something major. And when people now look at you, like in 10 years or 20 years, what a successful woman. And they just think that you just woke up one day and said, you know what? I'm losing weight and I'm losing weight. And then it remains permanent. No, habits remain permanent. But goals are such that when you get it, you relax. And then that act of relaxing will take you further down the hill. Thank you. So let me give you time to also, ask more questions. Are you there, Michael?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
I need to be on the screen.
Yes. So we are
Okay,
encouraged to make those changes. We are encouraged to make those changes. Yes.
Yeah. I can't see myself on the screen anymore.
Oh, why? Okay.
All right. So thank you. Yeah. Okay, my friends, you can mute your mic if I'm not speaking now, so that the noise won't interfere. So are we learning this morning? Can I see our chat? I can see. Yeah, compound interest. Yes. Habits remain permanent. Very correct. Very correct. So I when it comes to why small habits make big changes. Sometimes I use gym, for example. Sometimes for guys and for ladies, we want to like develop some muscles, okay? But then if you go to the gym the first day, nothing will happen, right? If you go to the gym the second day, nothing will still happen. If you go to the gym the third day, nothing will still happen. You need that consistency of action to deliver results, right? You don't just want to make changes. You want to ask yourself, what will this entail? Chinyere used weight loss, for example. You can say, I want to do this, I want to do that. But beyond wanting to do it, there has to be, that having to endure, having to know that this small change I am making, this small action I'm taking now, they will compound. They will definitely compound. Okay, so I heard of a story of a man that told the son to go and push a mountain. The son went and pushed the first time, the mountain didn't move. Pushed the second time, the mountain didn't move. Pushed the third time, the mountain didn't move. He came back and told that, Dad, you asked me to go and push the mountain. I'm pushing the mountain, but it's not moving. Guess what the dad told him? The dad said, look at your muscles. Something have developed. right? But at the first time of the attempt, nothing happened. He needed to do more, and by the time he knew what was happening, there is compound effect. Things have formed together to the point that the result is not visible. See, the mindset is this: understand that nothing will happen overnight. Just like you have said, no overnight success, nowhere. It is that small changes. And I can tell you, of making at the point of making those small changes, it may look as if nothing is happening. Now let's look at this. If you've ever gone to the to take drip before in the hospital or something like that, when the drip is dropping, it is dropping so small that you would think this thing will not finish. I mean, I have been there. The drip is dropping small, small, small. In your head, you're like, can this thing just finish? Can this thing go? Let me live here. And the way it is dropping, you may even think that it won't have impact on the body. You know, the illness you are having, the sickness you're having, you may think that that tiny drop won't make a difference. But guess what? It will finish and it will cure whatever thing it was supposed to cure. You just have to give it time. All right. Supposing you were impatient and you said, take this thing off me, I don't want it again, you will discover that you won't make any difference. You won't get healed. All right. But those small drop, those small, tom, they are compounding. And then James Clear made a very striking comment. He said that getting 1% better daily is far better than not getting better at all. All right. Just 1% every day. You don't have to do so much, really, because it is the idea of wanting to do so much that you do nothing at all because you want to, start big. Just like we hear at times, start big, I want it loud. In the bid of wanting it loud, you don't even get started at all. You don't make effort. James Clear said, if you can get 1% better daily in a year, you would have gotten 37% better. I mean, but then if you aren't getting better daily, you are declining. There is nothing like being stagnant. You are either improving or you are declining, right? There is nothing like being, say, I'm at a sport. If you check it, when you say you are at the sport, something is declining. There is a decline. Each time get better. It doesn't have to be very glamorous. Nobody has to see it. Nobody. Now, I remember at the point I was going to the gym to, just to build some muscles, none of those. The first day I went, the pain was so much that I didn't want to go again. But did anything happen at the first instance? Nothing. Was it painful? Absolutely. So you discover that even when the changes are not happen, some habits really, you need some measure of endurance to do it. So yesterday in church, something happened. This story just occurred to me now. So I do a training for the corporate, right? I train organizational leadership, workplace ethics, high performance, effectiveness leadership, and all that. So this year, a company in Anambra here hired me 3 days to train their staff for their yearly retreat. On having the training, I introduced reading to the team members of the company. So we're saying, I've not read before, I don't know the book to read, reading is boring, and so on and so forth. So I gave them some systems, to get them started with reading. Yesterday in church, one of their team members happens to be attending my church. He met me in church and said, "Sir, I have started reading. I read Atomic Habit this week, but it was boring." It was boring. Sometimes it's boring indeed. And I told her, just keep doing it. Over time, one of the things James Clear said is that it's not about reading a book. It's about becoming someone that reads. It's about the habit, right? It's not about one-off thing. Nobody achieved greatness. Nobody achieved success with one-off thing. So you need to do it over and over and over until they become reflex. You've not done it enough. For instance, when you wake up in the morning or in the day, you already know that I need to brush my mouth. It's there. Why? Over time, you have been conditioned to brush your mouth in the morning. When somebody calls your name, Michael, I turn. Even if I'm not the Michael they are calling, but because I have heard it over time, it comes to me naturally. Until it comes to you naturally, it has not become a habit. What you want to do is do it to the point that it comes to you naturally. It comes off very easily. That way, you can replicate the process. That way, you can always, do it, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let me just see what we are saying in the comment. Habit tied to identity rather than performance. Exactly. You tie your habits to identity, becoming a reader, not I'm reading. The point is, are you that person? You see, when you become something, it's easier to do. So another thing about atomic habit is to help you become, not to help you do. Oh, this is very important. Is to help you become, not to help you do. Because if you can become it, you can do it. I can tell you, anything you have become, you don't struggle to do. Some people have become an MC that talking naturally come to them easily. For instance, I have practiced communication over time to the point that it comes to me easily, just like I'm on the screen talking to you. I don't have to struggle to do this. Literally, I don't have to. Why? I have done it over time. It is now part of me to the point that it comes off easily. Yeah. So habit tied to identity rather than performance. If one doesn't break down goals into bits and make them habits, very likely that you won't be able to achieve anything. So true, so true. Until you're able to break them down, you know, you can't achieve anything. So, as we, another thing James Clear said before we move further is that he used finance, for example. I remember one time I saw a post on Facebook where a finance coach, a finance analyst made a post and said about investment. Somebody asked, if I invest 100,000 in 3 months, can I get 1 million? Something like that. I can't get that verbatim now. You see, and that is why we don't also invest our money because we want to see immediate result. Meanwhile, investment doesn't come like that. It has a compound 1% increment. If you use CaloRise, meanwhile, I'm not trying to publicize them. I use CaloRise. So if you use CaloRise, you will discover that if you are saving money with them, with their system, they give you small interest. But the interest is not magnificent. It's not. You need to leave your money there with them for the interest to compound, for the interest to become something that you can look back and be proud that you did invest with them. Life is like that. Finance, habits, reading, everything. So Bible said something. Please, if I'm not a Christian, pardon me. Okay, so I'm a Christian and I'm so proud of it. Bible said something. It said, and Jesus started to to be in us, and Jesus started to be. So there is that becoming before doing. Okay, so as we go further, James Clear talked about another thing that was so profound for me. I mean, meanwhile, if this is making sense, I want to see in the comment chat. Type makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. Let me see your MS. I can see our mama, she's saying, Rabadosh. If you were the TMM, the TMM conference in Lagos, you know where this Rabadosh is coming from. Okay, so I can see MS, makes sense, makes sense. Thank you so much, guys, for being here today. So, as we go further into this conversation, James Clear said something, and he said that your habits can compound for you or against you. I know we've said a bit of it on this call, but then I want us to throw more light on your habit can either compound for you or against you, right? It can work in your favor. And let me also make this comment now. Remember that the essence of this whole thing is to help us get transformed from where we are to where we ought to be, to a better place of being. And remember, at the end of the day, it's about who you are. It's about the quality of your being. It's about the depth of your person. So this is not something to pay less attention to. Habits, routines are the things we must pay keen attention to, because in the long run, at the end of the day, who we have become, either in the marketplace, in the business industry, you know, in our various industry, who we have become is as a result of these small habits, these small routines. I can tell you, if you don't have daily routine, something you do daily, the chances of you becoming success, the chances of you becoming great is very minimal. Very minimal. What you want to do is to ask yourself, in what ways can I make these small changes so that I can get better in the long run? All right. So, Micheal, are you still on this call with me? Let's have her on the call as we continue our gist. Okay. Yay. Welcome. I can't hear you again. I can't hear you. Unmute your mic.
Thank you so much. I mean, that it looked like, don't stop, Michael. Let him continue to talk. You've done excellently well, and I'm grateful because it's a learning time for all of us. Nobody knows it
Yeah.
all, and that's why we should have this heart that receives. So for all the people listening, even now, and not just listen, also try to put into practice the things that we are talking about. There is a very important aspect that of this habit forming that I want to talk about and maybe give us food for thought. And yes, we have mentioned a bit of it, is how difficult it is to break into bad habits. To break bad habits. It's just like, someone was talking about, or rather, I was listening to a drug addict try to talk about how many times he has gone into rehab trying to get himself, rehabilitated, and how difficult it's been. I know I just finished a 2 weeks no sugar challenge. Oh my God. I asked myself, how did I even, get to love sugar and drinks? And because the way my body functioned, it was horrible the first 2-3 days. I mean, the craving was, in fact, I had to do like a video of it and put online, and everybody was, some people were laughing, some people were, the craving was out of this world. But then it started small, all of that, make some tea, add sugar, give me a drink, the cake, I want it to really be rich in sugar. It started like that. So the aim is, don't start what you cannot finish. Don't even pick up that habit at all. That negative habit, stop it. Because you see, one thing about habits is that after a while, they happen unconsciously. So if, let's say, you're used to praying by 12 midnight, even if anybody calls you, once it's that 12 midnight, you become uncomfortable. And then you quickly tell the person, please, this is my prayer time. No matter who it is. Because now your body, your brain has taken that into consideration, that at this time, this is what happens. Now, the second important thing I want to emphasize is that you will grow to love your habits. I didn't really read it in the Atomic Habits. Maybe it's somewhere, but you will just grow to love what you're doing. After a while, it doesn't become a chore. It's not that decision. You just love it. One of the things that people think I've done well is raising my 5 children. And that was because when I had this number of children, 5 of them, at that time, it was fashionable having many children, but after a while, it wasn't really fashionable. And I go to places, I say 5, they look at me and 5, and I just came back. I took a decision. I said, I'm going to give the world children that they will be happy that came into this world. And I sat back, I said, how do I make it happen? I said, okay, acquisition of skills, talking to them. So it got a point, every morning we wake up, we're gisting about life. I tell them about myself, what I've gone through, my challenges, sometimes they'll go and carry a book and be writing. And after a while, it just became fun. Like if I haven't gathered us, they're not happy. Like, mommy, what's happening? And of course, I never failed. And so one woman came to me and she said, look, how did you raise your children? I said, I talk to them every day. Every day. I said, you just wake up every day? I said, yes, I wake up practically every day and I talk to them. In fact, I did a video where, in quotes, I was castigating people with young children plugging into all these early morning prayers if they haven't done the prayer at home with their children, because you have to train them. And then recently, when I gather young people and I'm talking to them, my children are hardly there. Why? Because, mommy, there's nothing you want to tell them that you haven't told us. But it just started with a decision. How do I make these children who the world is laughing at me, in quotes, I was in Chimamanda's class, and she used to call me mother of 10, jokingly. Chimamanda Adichie. And she would say, you still have 5 more to go. I said, no, I'm done, Chimamanda. I said, no, you can't be done. And we're just making jokes about it. But what did I do? I took a decision. And after taking that decision, I now started forming some habits that will lead to an overall good. So what it means is, please, whatever it is that you're going through, you can't look at yourself. Even if it's areas where people have made fun of you, and look at you, you are so fat, you remain fat all your life. Yeah, you can't remain fat all your life. Or look at you, you stop taking sugar, you stop taking carbs. Like I'm not doing a 2 weeks carb challenge. And I know, by God, having succeeded in this one, I'll do it. And then even the sugar again, I've lost all craving for it. How? Just starting small. Take that decision, then you now start taking steps that will help you. Then there's another important thing that I want to talk about. That is not seeing results immediately. Not giving up. Oh my God, you start the day, you ask the person next to you, what's that? Is it your imagination? Physically, it's not showing. Hey, what's happening? And so you get so discouraged. Just say, I beg, I've been doing it for 10 years in my room. I'll just wake up in my room and be, practicing. And then now, everywhere he goes, people are amazed. 10 years of practicing in his room and then grooming himself. So I see habits as a way of like grooming yourself. So when you rise to that plateau, it happens in weight loss. You can't move. You're just there. You lost 10 kilograms. You're excited. And then you're expecting to lose the next 5 kilograms. For a year, for 1 month, you're there. That is the plateau. Now, what do? You continue. Because one day, it will just happen. And it reminds me of that, the last straw that broke the camel's back. Hey, I love that. Last straw that broke the camel's back. That expression. Do you know how straw is? Very light, like feather. And then, so you imagine, how can one straw, break a camel's back? How? And not like a gallon of water or a tipper of sand. Straw. So they've been putting the straw, then just that tiny one. Why? Compounded interest. That is what is being called. So here now we are motivating you to make those small changes. But just like Micheal said, you can't get the 1 million simply because if you invested 100. No, you have to be patient, and the results will come. And when the results will come, it shall be permanent. That's the beauty of it. When it happens, it shall be permanent. So now, how do you choose habits that work? Very, very important. You like some of the things I'm saying, I didn't see in James Clear. So and now, so you look at someone, there's something that they do that you like. You observe people's life that I like the way this person is doing this thing. I think I will emulate. You go close to the person. I remember November 29th, I launched a book, My Life of Giving and Receiving. Oh, I love to give. Oh, my Jesus, I love to give. But there was a giver that was bigger than me. Mr. Micheal Okorie. He at the end of church, everybody is sitting down. Maybe one person wants to see us. The rest of the people want to see him. And they're coming with one thing or the other. I need a house. And he's doing it for people. And I invited him for lunch. And I said, please. I mean, like, how? And at that lunch, he wanted to pay. I said, no, I'm trying to learn something. And then I said, what? He said, well, I just came up with this philosophy that there's nothing I came to this world with that I will go with. That I came naked and I'll go naked. So whatever good I need to do, I will do it. And so I have a policy. Anyone who comes to me for a request, I may not do all. If I can do all, fine. If I cannot, I will do a little. And then when I see needs, I plug in. The people don't have to come and tell me what they want before I help them. Say, hey, that's interesting. And I picked up. So now we are talking about habits. And there are people that are doing some things that you like. Please, why don't you go close to them? Find out from them. How do you do this thing? How does it work? I like the fact that every year you're releasing a book. How do you release this book? And how the person says if you write a page a day, in 365 days, you would have written 365 pages. And there's hardly any book that's voluminous. So you can actually make it. So go close to people, find out what makes them tick. And that will also help you to form those habits that will help you in life. Thank you.
Awesome. That was amazing. That was amazing. Are we learning something this morning? I can see the chat. Somebody saying habit are compound interest of self-improvement. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, saying I have grown to love being a part of the WISER Nation and being up 6 a.m. Exactly. Awesome. Okay, so enough has been said. I mean, we've said a lot. So I just want to chip in something why we begin to round up for the conversation. So James Clear said something very profound again for me. He said, forget about goals and focus on systems
Yes.
instead. All right. So sometimes we are so attached to our goals, the result, the end, that we forget that if we fix the system, if the systems are right, if the processes are gotten correctly, the result will come. The result you want to achieve, the goals you want to have, they are all hinged on your systems, your process, your structures. So at each point, beyond wanting to achieve the goal, have build a system around yourself that makes it easy for you. For example, so let me break it down so that you can understand what I mean by system. You want to start reading a book. What system are you putting in place? You want to become, remember, you don't want to read the book. What you want to be is to become a reader. What you want is to become a reader and not to read a book. Now, how can you so if becoming a reader is your goal, is the result you want to achieve, how can you build a system around it? A quick one. So you can say in the morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is to pick a book. It's not to go to social media. It's not to pick my phone. Because sometimes we wake up in the morning and the first place our hand goes to is our phone. By the time you pick the phone, you start checking messages, notifications, and you are drawn in there. So you can put off your phone and say, once I wake up, the first thing I do is to read the book. Alarm is a system. See, my kind of person, I regulate my life with alarms, with reminders. Why? They are all systems that can help me become a certain kind of person. The system you could put around you could be having somebody to hold you accountable. So all of these are the system you can put together to make achieving a certain habit possible for you. Okay, so start thinking in your head, what system do I need to put in place to make this thing happen? Is it to have somebody hold me accountable? Is it to, set alarm? Is it to have somebody to build a community, to tell my friend, to tell my coach? Whatever system you need to put in place to make your habits to last and to stay, put it in place. That way, it becomes easier to achieve success and all that. So, Chinyere, just in 1 minute, let's have your final word. What would you say to the wiser nation just in 1 minute? Your mic is muted.
Thank you very much, Michael. All of us want to succeed. All of us want to be known. All of us want to live debt free. All of us want to have amazing children. All of us want to do well in life. These are fantastic ambitions. They're beautiful goals that can help you. So if you want to be like the man that has says that he's read his Bible 3 times in a year and you have not even done it once in your whole lifetime. What we are saying in this edition of Review of Atomic Habits is just start by making those small changes, forming those small habits. Don't even think too deep about it and begin to say, when will I finish this whole book? Don't even think when will I become rich? When will I? No, just put the system in place, which is what Michael talked about the last time. Just have the system in place. And right before your very before, according to one man, right before your very before, you will find that you have achieved all of these goals. Remember, you achieve success. Remember, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. So start now to put the system in place. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So just to say one thing to us before we leave the call, I mean, it's been an amazing time. So if you're here on the call, thank you so much for being with us so far. This is about 6:58. Yeah, and you are right on Discord. Thank you so much. So, last thing is that determine who you want to be, right? At each point in life, we transition, our ambitions changes, our aspirations changes, our goals changes. As we evolve in life, our interest changes. So at each point in your life, at each stage in your life, ask yourself, who do I want to become? And when you have identified who you want to become, gain that clarity, next is ask yourself, what habit do I need to form to become this person? Okay, what habit do I need to form? Who you are now cannot get you to become who you want to become in the future. Oh, like your future self, you can't get there being the person you are today. You need to become a certain kind of person to get to your dream life. And what you want to do is to find out, what will it cost? What habits? What can I do more from today? What can I do less? What can I start doing? What can I stop doing? If you are able to identify all these, you will be on your way to making the best of your life at every point in time. Thank you so much for being on this call. Can you turn your mic? Let's say your mic is muted.
Okay, thank you, everyone. It was nice having us, and we're also happy to be here. And it also helped us to learn more, Michael.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here.
Thank
My
you.
name on social media is Micheal Okorie. You can just search me out, follow me, and I will see you on the other side. Bye for now. I have a great month ahead.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for being with me today. I'm so glad that you are here. But before you go, make sure you like, subscribe to my channel, and click on the bell icon to get notifications every time I post a new video so that you miss out on nothing. See you again. Bye for now.